You've had that moment before. Something in you knew before you could explain it, like your chest tightened for no reason, and later you realized it was a warning. Or you walked into a room and instantly felt the mood, even though nobody said a word. People call it intuition, coincidence, being sensitive. But you can feel it's more than that. It's like you brushed against an invisible field that's been around you your whole life, quietly responding to what's happening inside you. Here's the part most people miss. Your body isn't just flesh and bones moving through space. You're surrounded by an energy field, an electromagnetic aura that reflects your inner world the way a lake reflects the sky. Calm mind, clear water, heavy emotions, the surface gets disturbed. And no, this isn't just some new age idea floating around on the internet. Your body runs on electrical activity. Your heart, your brain, your nervous system, all of it generates measurable electromagnetic patterns. So the idea that you have a field isn't strange. Pretending you don't, that's the weird part. And this field isn't one flat layer. Picture it like a multi-layered cocoon, 7 layers, like rings of an atmosphere around a planet. Closest to the body sits the etheric layer, tied to survival, grounding, physical vitality. A little farther out, the emotional layer carries your feelings like weather. Next comes the mental layer, your beliefs, your inner narration, the sentences you repeat to yourself when no one's listening. Then the astral layer, connected to love, connection, how safe you feel with people. And beyond that, the layers tied to expression, intuition, and the soul's wider journey, like a ladder from matter to meaning. Now, think about what happens when life hits hard. Stress, old wounds, unresolved anger that got swallowed instead of spoken, fear that became being realistic. Those don't just vanish, they leave marks in the field, like knots in a rope. Over time, those knots start affecting everything. Your energy feels smaller, heavier, duller. You might notice it as exhaustion that doesn't match your sleep, or motivation that disappears for no logical reason, or repeating patterns in relationships, like you're living the same chapter with different characters. It's not punishment, it's just physics. A river can't flow freely when debris piles up. So when people say, energy flows where attention goes, it's not a quote for a poster. It's a practical truth. Attention is like a flashlight in a dark room. Wherever you keep shining it, your worries, your regrets, your resentment, your field starts organizing around that signal. And then life, almost politely, starts mirroring the signal back. Not because the universe is cruel, more like because it's consistent, like an echo. You call out fear, fear answers. You call out clarity, clarity starts showing up. And here's where things get interesting, because if your field has been shaped by thoughts and emotions, sometimes without your permission, then it can also be reshaped on purpose. Not through forcing it, not through pretending everything is perfect, but through learning how to work with the system, a real system, one you can feel, one you've already been living inside. And the first doorway into that system is simple, almost too simple, your breath. Breath sounds ordinary until you actually pay attention to it. Then it's kind of shocking. You realize it's the only system in your body that's automatic and controllable. Heartbeat, mostly automatic. But breath? Breath listens. Breath responds. Breath is like the bridge between your conscious mind and everything deeper, your nervous system, your emotions, your energy centers. Pranayama, the ancient practice of breath control, figured this out long before anyone had words like parasympathetic nervous system. Ancient people didn't need modern terms to notice what worked. They watched the mind, they watched the body, they watched what happened when breath became shallow in fear, and what happened when breath became slow in safety. And they understood something quietly brilliant. Move the breath, and you move the energy. Try it like this, not as a performance, not like you're trying to do it right, just like you're testing water temperature. Sit comfortably. Let your shoulders drop. Close your eyes for a second and notice your natural breath. No judgment, no fixing. Then inhale through the nose for 4 counts, belly expanding gently. Hold for a brief moment. Exhale through the mouth for 6 counts, slow and steady, like you're fogging a mirror. longer exhale. That's the key, because longer exhale signals the body, you're safe now. And when the body believes you're safe, the entire field begins to unclench. Here's what's really happening behind the scenes. Extended exhale activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest response. Stress chemicals soften, muscles stop bracing, thoughts lose that frantic edge. And the energy field, it responds, like a clenched fist finally opening. A lot of energy work begins right there, not with crystals, not with complicated rituals, just with the body stopping its constant emergency mode. Once breath creates space, mindfulness steps in like a gentle spotlight. Mindfulness isn't about being calm all the time. It's about noticing what's going on without immediately getting dragged under by it. You start seeing patterns, how a certain type of thought tightens your throat, how a certain memory makes your chest feel heavy, how scrolling your phone late at night leaves your energy scattered the next morning, like you woke up in 10 different places. Awareness becomes the first kind of freedom, because you can't clear what you refuse to see. And then, something subtle happens. You stop reacting to life like it's happening to you, and you start sensing that life is responding with you. Not in a magical, everything is perfect way. More like a feedback loop. Your inner state shapes your field. Your field influences how you interpret events, what you notice, what you attract, what you tolerate, what you walk away from. Suddenly, energy isn't a vague idea. It becomes a language, and your thoughts start to look less like private words in your head and more like signals you're broadcasting. Which brings us to the part most people whisper about, because it sounds too powerful to say out loud. Thoughts don't just describe reality. Thoughts help shape it. Think of your energy field like a radio transmitter. Every thought carries a frequency. Every emotion adds volume. Fear broadcasts loud and messy, static-filled signals that attract more chaos, more tension, more, "Why is this happening again?" Love broadcasts clean and coherent. Gratitude has a strange way of organizing the field into harmony, not because the world suddenly becomes perfect, but because your system becomes receptive to different outcomes. There's research and language emerging around this idea, how thoughts ripple through the energy field. Even if the details get debated, you can feel the core truth in your own life. The thoughts you repeatedly entertain become the lens you live through. Start expecting rejection, and you'll notice every hint of it. Start expecting opportunity, and you'll spot doors you ignored before. Same world, different signal, different experience. So here's the practical question. How do you use this invisible force correctly without turning it into wishful thinking? Because positive thoughts alone don't do much if the rest of you is still vibrating with dread. Real alignment isn't pretending. Real alignment is tuning your inner world so it matches what you're calling in, like adjusting a guitar string until it's in tune. If the string is off, no amount of wishing creates music. You have to tune it. Visualization helps because it simulates the experience energetically. When you vividly imagine a goal as already real, your nervous system and energy field start rehearsing it. It's like training a dog with repetition, except the dog is your subconscious. Still, visualization by itself can become empty if it's just mental movies with no emotional charge and no action behind it. That's why intention setting matters. Meditation becomes useful here, not because it's spiritual theater, but because focused attention stabilizes the signal. During meditation, you lift the vibration by choosing the inner state on purpose, instead of letting the day choose it for you. Gratitude is the underrated powerhouse, not fake gratitude, not the forced "I'm grateful" while secretly resenting everything. Real gratitude, appreciation that sinks into the body. The moment you genuinely recognize what's already good, your field shifts from grasping to receiving, from lack to abundance. And abundance isn't just money or success. It's a feeling of there's enough time, enough support, enough possibility. And that state, it's magnetic. Life tends to cooperate with it. Affirmations can work too, but only when used correctly. If words are repeated like a parrot, while the body feels unsafe, the subconscious ignores them. But when affirmations are repeated with presence, paired with emotion, breath, and small aligned actions, they start reprogramming belief. Remember, the mental layer of your energy field holds your thoughts and beliefs. Changing the thought pattern changes the pattern in the field. And a new pattern in the field starts attracting new matches in life, slowly, then suddenly. A simple practice to bring all of this together is the 5-5-5 technique. 5 minutes visualizing your goal in vivid detail. 5 minutes affirming your ability to achieve it. 5 minutes in gratitude for what you already have. 15 minutes total. Do it consistently, not obsessively, just consistently, like watering a plant. You don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You water it, and you trust the process. And don't miss this. Action is part of alignment. Inspired action is how you tell life you're serious. Break the goal down into manageable steps. Move, even if it's small, even if it feels imperfect. Movement clears stagnant energy. Movement proves belief. Movement turns I want into I'm building. At some point, you'll start noticing synchronicities, strange timing, unexpected support, opportunities that feel like they arrived right when you were ready. Those aren't accidents. They're signs the signal is changing and reality is responding. So here's the truth, plain and simple. Your thoughts activate an invisible force because your thoughts shape your energy field, and your energy field shapes how reality meets you. Not in a childish wish it and it appears way, but in a grounded, deeply human way. Your inner world decides your signal. Your signal affects what you notice, what you allow, what you attract, and what you become strong enough to receive. A blocked field feels like pushing life uphill. A clear field feels like life finally has room to move. Start today, not with a dramatic overhaul. Start with a breath, a longer exhale, a 15-minute ritual, a daily energy check-in where you pause and ask, how do I feel right now? Am I scattered or present, heavy or open? Then choose, gently, like guiding a child's hand, where your attention goes next. Because attention is energy, and energy becomes experience. Your thoughts are not background noise, they're instructions. Use them like a key, not like a weapon pointed at your own life.